Good evening, everyone. This is Drinks and Discussions. We are live tonight. We are getting things set up. I apologize for the delay. I want to make sure everything is coming in loud and clear and the cameras are on. We're going to have a great show for you. Hope you guys are healthy and happy. And welcome to Drinks and Discussions. We've got Marcus.
No.
We've got me, Brian, and for those of you who have not been here in a while or who have been here and have not seen the lovely avatar that you see in the bottom portion of our screen, that is the one and only First Lady of Drinks and Discussions, Megan. Hello, Megan. Welcome back to the show. And
I'll be on camera in 1 second.
It is so funny because I'm watching the chat because I'm listening to Mr. B saying Brian is still at the liquor store because I did the promo from the liquor store. The liquor store is like the electronic store for me. I can go in there and I can go in and out of each and every aisle just to kind of look, and I can be in there for, normally you go in there for something and you go right out. I can browse. Mm-hmm. I can browse.
I'm the same way in a hardware store.
At the hardware store? Oh, well, yeah, I can do the Home Depot or Lowe's the same way as well. You're right.
Yeah, I love tools.
Yeah.
I can't believe there are no jokes about that.
I was going to say it, but you know what? I didn't want to scare you off when you first came, and you hadn't been here in a while, so I didn't want to scare you off immediately.
Oh, come on, I'm not that sensitive.
I know that.
You're lucky I missed it, Megan.
Oh, I said I like tools, or love tools. I love tools.
Marcus is one. Marcus is one. That's why it was over his head.
That's exactly right.
I couldn't let you get away with it twice. I couldn't let it pass me twice.
Well, yeah, I was expecting one, so thank you. Left me hanging before.
So, okay, Marcus hadn't had his Mountain Dew, so I'll let him wait till he gets his Mountain Dew down, and then he'll be up and ready to go. So,
oh yeah, I need to get my drink.
Just so everybody knows, Big Jake had a friend who had come under some an ailment, and he was going to go visit his friend and his family. So we want to send our well wishes to Big Jake, and the family and friend of his. Hope everything works out the best way possible for him. We always miss him if he's not on the show. So just wanted to say a good shout out to Big Jake.
Yes, absolutely, Jake.
Miss
you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Take care of your business. We're thinking about you.
We also may have a few other guests pop in. I invited Jeff. He was one of our actually two Jeffs. If you've seen some of the past streams, my neighbor and friend, he may join us. I invited him to join us on the live stream, as well as Jeff, the financial guy, who a few weeks ago was joining us as well. So you might see him as well pop in. He's the one who lives in Mexico right now.
Oh, sweet.
With the little girl. He just had the baby.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, yeah, nice. That's okay. Right. I remember him.
Okay. So let's get into it before we get into the drinks. Let me tell you what we're going to talk about today. And Megan, I'm glad you're here because we're going to be talking about some man things, and we want to get your woman's perspective. And if there's anybody else out there who wants to come on and offer their perspective, please let us know, including Megan. She'll be able to get you in. If you have Discord and you want to come in and participate in a healthy conversation with us, please let us know. But I want to talk to you guys. We wanted to talk to you guys about men. And in today's society, there's a narrative that says that men are demasculating or not as masculine as they were before. And, we get ridiculed. I know that there have been a lot of fun being made about Marcus and I and the manscaping and all those types of things and the pink shirts. I don't really care about those things, but it happens. But do you feel as a man comfortable enough in your time of need, or in the time of need could be emotional, financial, mentally? Do you feel as if you are confident in your manhood to go to another man with this burden? So I want to talk about that. And Does it make you feel like you're a weaker man, or does it make you feel like you don't, because it would make you less of a man by, discussing these things? I want to know all these things about it. So then also I wanted to talk to you about men. Are we still in a society where if you're in the dating world and you're in a relationship, no matter who you're in a relationship with, do you feel some kind of way when if your partner or the person you're in a relationship either out earns you or has a higher title than you? I want to get your perspective on those as well.
Those are good subjects.
Thank you. I kind of, you know what? I wanted to just give another real quick. I'm not going to say shout out is the right word. I want to give some credit to someone who, when we do these live streams and some things are in the chat, and you kind of feel as if, you know, you got this vision, and I've got this vision for all of the Drinks and Discussions channels, but sometimes you get in the weeds and you can't really see what really needs to be done to actually get it to another level. So Yum a couple of weeks ago had told me about something that I needed to do in order to bring more to this channel, and she was right, or they were right. I'm going to promise you guys, it becomes a little bit more contentious in these live streams when we talk about religion, politics, and some of those other things. When we do these live shows, I want to talk about things that matter, that everyone can either experienced or will experience, or can at least talk educatedly about a certain subject. Like these subjects we're going to talk about, I think everybody will have an opinion or something to say on them. I think that everybody has an opinion. And that's what I want to do. Now, I will tell you, Drinks and Discussions will always still cover in the other videos that are not live. We will still cover some of the things that are in the newsworthy. So if it's, about Trump, if it's about these other things, Drinks and Discussions will still cover those on those videos. But when it comes to the live and we get to meet and it's like a party here, you don't want to have a party and send people home early. You want to have a party and have people stick around, and you want to have these types of conversations. And so I want to make sure everybody feels welcome in the Drinks and Discussions party. Any comments from you guys?
Oh, I love it. Let's do it.
I think that's a great idea.
Cool. Alrighty then. Bumblebee, thank you for joining us. Megatron Community Watch, great to see you. Mr. B, always great to see you as well. Making sure I just made sure I covered everyone in the chat, so appreciate it. All right, let's get into the drinks portion of the show. Megan. Oh, okay. Well, while you do that, let's go ahead and get
whiskey with I guess champagne back, maybe. I don't know. Maybe a White Claw back.
Are you taking a shot of whiskey?
Yeah.
Okay. What kind of whiskey are you drinking?
I forget. I have to go check the bottle. It's not an expensive one. It's actually the one from the bar I like. They have a really good well whiskey. So it's a cheap whiskey, but I really like it.
It's all about what you like. It doesn't matter what the price tag is, as long as you like it. Good.
Yeah. So I'll grab that. I'll be right back.
Okay. All right, Mr. Marcus, what you got, Chief?
Well, I have something what I think is new, but maybe it's not. And you know what?
White Claw.
Jake may have had this before. Jake may have had this before, but I'm not sure. But tonight, in the spirit of Halloween, I'm going with Mountain Dew Voodoo. Mountain Dew Voodoo. So it says it's a mystery flavor. So there's a couple of flavors of Mountain Dew that I don't like. I don't care for the live wire, which is the orange, and I don't care for the code red, which is the red. All the other flavors and colors, I like them. So I'm hoping this is not that. Oh, but snap! You know what? I hope this isn't that that super hot one either. So it's a mystery flavor, but we will see. We will unveil it live here on Drinks and Discussions.
Mr. B said he'll be hanging out by the hors d'oeuvres when they start talking manscaping. We're not talking about manscaping, Chief. We're not talking about manscaping today. You can go back a few weeks ago and see all about the great male hygiene that you want to catch up on if you want to see those back in the on the channel. But we're not talking about manscaping today. Bumblebee says, let's drink some Jack Daniels, baby. If that's your thing, go feel free to drink that stuff. But I don't drink the Jack Daniels any longer. Well, I will tell you, I did go, as you saw in the promo, I went to go and find something different tonight. And I saw something that I have just caught my eye, but I haven't really heard anything really good or bad about it. But I wanted to try it. And since we are from Texas, I decided, why not give it a shot? So this is what I'm drinking tonight. It is Texas whiskey bourbon.
And you said you haven't had that one before?
I have not had this one before.
I'm wondering, Brian, that looks like a one that you've had very similar when we used to be in person at
Uncorked?
Yeah, I can't remember
okay.
which one it was.
Well, when we were on site at Uncorked, if he gave me one of these or gave me something, I don't remember. I've never purchased. I've never purchased the bottle, so I figured I'd bring it on here, and it's brewed, distilled actually in Fort Worth, Texas. Didn't even know that.
Okay.
Apple Orchard past weekend, and there's a nice cold glass of apple cider. Truth Teller went to Apple Orchard and got a nice glass of apple cider tonight. Cheers to that. What'd you say? Now, what did you find out the name of yours, Megan?
Oh, it's Monarch.
Monarch. Okay.
Super cheap. I haven't been to a liquor store to buy a bottle of liquor in years, but my back has been so bad that like whiskey really does help. Just like a couple of shots, and I feel like I can walk.
What do you have?
But I've been in bad shape.
Do you have chronic back problems, or is it just something that just kind of a spur of the moment came up?
This one kind of just, I've always had back problems ever since I was in a bike accident in my early 20s. But this is different. This is my sciatica, and it sucks ass.
Is that a motorcycle bike or bike?
Bicycle. I'm not that cool.
Megan, don't short yourself now.
Me? Never. So salute.
Yes, cheers, by the way. I'm sitting in somebody. I'm going to tell you guys what I was laughing at here real quick. Cheers, though.
Let's see.
One of my friends just sent me a text message and said, hey, dude, are you live tonight? I don't see you on Facebook. And I'm like, what the hell, dude? Stop going to Facebook.
Who does Facebook anymore?
So when we first started this, like several years ago, when it was like just sports only, and we just thought Drinks and Discussions sports, we're talking about Cowboys, and I had a neighbor who was a referee in the NFL. We were getting so many likes, and we were followed by ESPN affiliate here in Dallas, and so we were just big on Facebook. And then when I left and moved back, I saw YouTube was a better way, and people were talking about, you can grow your channels and you own your own content. Facebook doesn't do that, so it started over there, and people followed us. And then you got your high school friends and all that kind of stuff that like your stuff, but then it's hard for them to go and say, hey, let me click on this link Brian sent me and go to YouTube. Nobody does that. Hey, Thumper, cheers to you, bro.
I hear that. But yeah, I've been in bad shape for like 2 weeks.
What are you doing? You say you got a shot, or you think you might have to get a shot?
I have to probably go see a chiropractor.
Oh.
Can't get in right away.
My dad has had chronic back pains for as long as I remember, and he used to have this little tinge unit that they put on his back, and it would actually send like shock waves to his back, and he can control it. It's almost like a taser gun. It was weird.
I have something like that.
Have you used it?
But I don't know what I'm doing, so I don't think I'm just going to start investing with my. But I can probably look it up on YouTube.
I was going to say there's a YouTube channel for that.
I'm sure they do.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so great weekend. We're not talking about the sports. I know we're gonna have a couple of guys. Thumper, I know we want to talk about the boys. I'm gonna get with you on that on the Drinks and Discussion Sports channel, man. I know it was a rough night, especially for me it was. But we'll talk about those. We'll talk about those on another. What'd you say?
It's been a good week for Padre fans.
Yes, Padre fans, Astro fans. Been a really good week for those. I'm not a baseball guy though. It's weird that that's one sport that I just don't get into, and I don't get into the basketball until after football season is over.
Yeah,
It's the only sport that's better on radio than on TV.
What, baseball?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's just
I
boring.
I wouldn't
It's
doubt
only
that.
fun when you're there at the game.
so you would be surprised then, Megan. I don't know if you guys like hockey, but I like listening to hockey on the radio.
I I grew up in San Diego. San Diego's not a hockey town. We have
Oh
a
yeah.
hockey. I blame Ted Leitner for any San Diegans out there. You know who I'm talking about. He's a sports newscaster. He hated hockey. He just
Mm.
spread that ill will to the rest of us.
What what city was
San
he?
Diego,
San Diego.
mhm.
What's the San Diego
He's
hockey team?
Oh, well,
the Gulls. Oh wait, I think they're not in the pros.
Oh, okay.
That's right.
yeah, I was gonna
I,
say they're probably like a AHL, AHL affiliate or something like that. One of the minor leagues.
that's how much we don't do hockey. I don't even know
Yeah.
what league
The
they're in.
closest one would be the Los Angeles Kings.
I thought the
Yeah, the
Kings
Kings.
were in San Jose.
And it's the
Uh,
Sharks.
and
San Jose
yep,
Sharks. That's right.
yep.
Uh,
And again, sooner or later, you guys will see Flaky Jake come in saying she forgot it was Tuesday again. So even though she is short timing um, for her job, she'll trickle in here in a little bit. And Jeff is coming in as well.
Uh-oh, somebody's on the green. They left one. They left one. They left that putt right on the lip.
Right. That's about right. That sounds like about me. That's like me every weekend. Hello,
where's that
Zeus.
earthquake?
Hello. Actually that looks like it might be Zeus because he claims he could play any sport, but golf is not his forte, and that's about right. He probably
That's uh.
three putted from there to make it into the hole.
I think that's me.
Oh, that's Kevin.
Hey,
Oh.
I take it all back, man. I take it all back.
You
Who's
didn't see his name when he came in? I'm just like, I don't think that's Jeff.
No. So, in case you guys don't remember Kevin, he is the guy that I did the cyber live stream with. He is a former coworker, best friend, confidant, anything you can call it. And this is my guy.
Okay.
And those golf
Are
balls,
you sure?
those golf balls behind him are all the balls of the hole in ones he's had throughout his life.
I wish. Yeah.
What's up, Kevin?
Okay. Are you sure? Are you sure it's Kevin and not Jason Bateman?
He gets that all the
you know
time.
what?
He gets that all the
I
time.
hear that a lot,
Uh-huh.
actually. I hear that a lot.
Okay.
I've actually been stopped at airports before, people thinking I'm Jason Bateman. Of course, I signed the autograph, Jason Bateman. Yeah.
There you go.
And gets the free upgrade from regular class to first class. You know, all the perks.
You know.
Admiral Club. What are you drinking, Kevin? Are you drinking anything?
Yeah, I'm pretty sophisticated, so
Miller Lite. Okay, so let's get into the conversation, Kevin. In case you didn't catch the title of this, the first.
No, I just hopped on. What's up, guys?
So the first topic that I want to talk about is, as men, I'm sure you've heard of the narrative that today's men have become soft or less masculine as before. There's a toxic trait in masculinity now that's being pushed across today's narratives. So I wanted to ask everyone, get a men's perspective, and Megan being a female could give her perspective on what she sees in men as well. Do you feel comfortable talking to another man about any type of hardship or things that you are dealing with regarding either your mental situation, your financial situation, your health situations, any of those things? Do you feel comfortable as a man going to another man with these types of conversations?
I don't have any issue with that whatsoever. I don't. I actually I don't understand where that's coming from. Is that really a thing? Are people saying that men are being emasculated and
Mm-hmm.
okay, all right.
Yeah.
Tucker Carlson for that.
What was that, Megan?
You could thank Tucker Carlson for that.
Yes.
Oh, I don't watch Tucker.
And
Nobody should.
you've got you got text going across your video, Megan.
I know.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
okay. I couldn't
don't
read it.
fall
I
into
didn't. Don't
the.
fall into
I
the.
didn't know it was going to be up there yet. I thought
No,
that.
don't fall into the manosphere.
Manosphere.
Yeah.
Well, so there was somebody who I was talking to, and they were unsure if they could confide or talk to me. They just didn't feel comfortable. And I know I've gone through a lot in life. And I probably still will go through a lot in life. But there are very few people that I know, Kevin is one of them, that I can go and talk to Kevin about anything. Marcus and I are old friends, and we're getting to that point to where we also can confide in each other about things. But there are not a whole lot of people that I, as a man, feel comfortable just to go and say, hey, this is a guy, even though I might know him a little bit. I golf with him all the time. I'm not going to go out there and just talk to those guys just willy-nilly about things that I might be going through. Because I don't feel as if I think women have that innate ability just to talk to other women. And Megan can speak on that, but I just don't think that men have that built in to us.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Megan. I think you were about to say something.
I didn't say anything. I was waiting for your
Oh,
guys' response.
no, I agree, and I think it's the older I've gotten, the more important I think it is for us as men, to have someone, to have someone that we can confide in. It's great if it's a wife or significant other, but to also have that male confidant. Um, and if not the male confidant, then it's definitely important to have somebody to talk to if that's a counselor or something. Just y- there's there's too much pressure on us as men to not have those outlets. So I think it's really important.
I might be the outlier of males, but I've got a pretty small circle of close friends. Brian, you being one of them. I can talk to you about anything, and I talk to probably one or two other close friends about anything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't have any walls really with any of my close friends.
Mm-hmm. And maybe that's the common theme here when we're all talking. It's the close friends. We all have friends,
Yeah,
but there's not that many of those friends that I would invite into that circle of trust, because I don't mind being vulnerable. I really just don't. But I don't want to be vulnerable and then have that kind of thrown back in my face because someone knew something that I intended to be kind of near and dear and just only a certain group of people knowing.
for sure. I was gonna just add to what I was saying a minute ago. But yeah, you can't, and I can't stress it enough. You can't just talk to anybody, uh, especially as men. I think women can get away with it, to some degree. But men, you can't just talk to anybody. Kevin, like you said, you've got to have that close circle of friends, and then if you don't, then certainly you've got to have an outlet somewhere, counselors, therapists, that sort of thing. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So to kind of speak to what you guys said about, it's being easier for women, that's not necessarily true. I mean, I don't have that many close females that I'm just willing to open up to, because you got to be a little bit protective of yourself because of kind of the vindictiveness and cattiness of some women.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, when you do have your close girlfriends, yeah, sure, you can talk about some of the stuff that you only would talk to your doctor or your spouse about.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But that I'm when it comes to being a female, I am kind of weird. Like I've had women hate me because I've given away secrets of our gender. So
Mm.
I'm odd. And in my last few relationships, I have found that men have been more needy, more emotional, And like it's just been really weird.
Well, you know,
And maybe that
Come on,
has to do with
Megan.
this change of people, of men getting softer. Maybe that's what it is.
Well, I think there's a misnomer going on about men being softer because I don't think if you look at me, you would consider me a soft guy. I think you would consider me an athletic guy, hopefully, maybe a little chubby on the chubby side. I get it.
Come
No,
on.
no comments, Kevin. I drink a lot of beer. I drink a lot of beer. But at the end of the day, if I, shave my legs or if I wear pink shirts or if I do any of those things, does not define me as less of a man than anything else. And one of the things that I was going to bring up too is Kevin and I are golfers. He's much better at it than I am, of course. But there was a tournament he and I played in, and we were paired up with strangers for 18 holes. And by the time we were done for the first 2 holes, we were having shots, taking beers, and all these other things with these guys. Yeah, real good friends with the guys that we played with. But when it came to the tournament, they actually wanted to put strange women into a dinner together, like a little tournament dinner for just the spouses.
Oh, it was a spouse dinner.
Spouse dinner, right?
Yeah.
Women weren't having anything to do with that. There was no way strange women. I'm sure they had some people show up. I'm not sure. Did they even cancel that, or did people go?
I have no idea. I don't know any spouses that actually went to that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's so when you put women in a situation, a social situation where they don't know each other, I think men react differently than women react. Tell me if that's true, Megan.
You're looking into that a little differently. I think this is your guys' thing. You do this. This is her break away from you. You know, so it's just like she doesn't want to impede on your golf time, and she certainly doesn't want to be dragged into your stupid dinners for it.
That's what my wife said. Yes, exactly right.
Exactly. And it's like, it's not that, if you throw people together, because like say I'm like an out of towner and I came to visit my high school friend at her baby shower and I'm the only one that doesn't know everyone else. I'd be fine with that. I'd just be like, shit, tell me the new stories about my girlfriend. I'm like, so I don't think it has to do with women just can't be thrown together in a social situation and handle it. I think it's that's your social situation. They're staying the F out.
Yeah.
So what happens if so you're tell me that if it was a women's outing and well, I guess see your point because Kevin knew a bunch of the guys. I even knew some of the guys that played here in my home course as well. So there was some familiarity aspect there from us. And if I went to somewhere else, I didn't know anybody, including Kevin, I could see I would feel a little bit apprehensive of going as well. So I misspoke a little bit on that. I see your point.
Has to do with the individual, if they're an extrovert, an introvert, if they're somebody who can make friends easily or somebody who just seems to rub people the wrong way everywhere they go. I mean, that's really personality. It doesn't really have much to do with gender.
True story.
Like, for example, my stepdad and my mom, they always go on these trips together. And my mom this time, it was something for my stepdad's father's like what they did in the war over in France, and it was like this full Japanese freedom of like they freed this whole village and they celebrate them. And she's like, you go by yourself and like enjoy, because she is a social butterfly and he is a complete introvert. And now since he's married her, he's come out of his shell a lot. And he like at first was like, oh, okay, well, I mean, I guess, but he's thanked her every day that he's been on this trip. He's just like, I'm having a great time because, living in my mom's shadow when she's a social butterfly, he's kind of like, just okay, just kind of tags along.
Right.
And so I think it really has to do a lot with the personality.
Okay. So what's up, Jeff? What's going on, big guy?
Man, hello everybody. I'm trying to get my lighting somewhat okay.
Your lighting was fantastic, but now it's not.
Yeah, so like the desk piece is here, which is extremely dark.
Right there.
Here, I mean, I would just literally be standing holding the device.
Oh.
You don't have a
Because
chair there?
like there's a bed literally on the other side of that.
Oh.
I can probably rig something up though. We'll work on this.
Okay.
You guys talk amongst yourselves.
While we talk among ourselves, I'm sure that you guys didn't. Maybe if you missed that I was called a marshmallow in the chat because I'm with this white. I was like, call me a chunky marshmallow or something kind of marshmallow. The cameraman did. I thought it was hilarious.
Is the cameraman coming up? Because I want to prove to him I don't always leave whenever he shows up.
I didn't even know that was a thing. Okay.
No, it was coincidental, like 2 or 3 times. I was like, okay, I gotta go. And it's like he comes up and I'm like, I gotta go. He's like, okay.
So that's why Megan's been gone this whole time, cameraman. We should have known it. Dang it.
Oh, cameraman.
So I feel that we're all kind of in the same line of thought when it comes to sharing your feelings with a small group of individuals. We don't just and I think it's the same thing for women. It's not like they rush to go tell their whole story to anybody. It has to be certain people in their circle of trust. So my question would be now to Megan and if there are any ladies in the chat, do you think a man is less masculine if he confides in another man? And just say, for instance, if your man cries by even going through some hardship and he's telling a story, and I've made it clear several times, I'll watch movies. My wife looks at me like I'm crazy when I'm over here going like this.
But does she think you're less of a man?
Oh, hell no. Oh,
exactly.
No.
Right.
Now, so my take on that is absolutely don't think that someone who's in touch with their emotions is less of a man. It actually takes some freaking balls to be able to do that, especially with how people are raised. I mean, the guy I'm seeing now, he was raised by a woman who was like, I don't want to hear you whine. I don't want no emotion. You just get it done. Mm-hmm. Like that was, she raised 9 boys, 8 or 9 boys,
mm-hmm.
And so he has a hard time with showing, he doesn't have that hard of a time, but he feels like it's demasculating when he does show any sort of weakness in his mind. And I'm just like, I let it out here. This is your safe space. Like, you can talk to me. I won't judge you. You can cry on my shoulder. Like, otherwise you're going to bottle it up and either get colon cancer or punch somebody in the face in the grocery store. Like,
serenity,
don't bottle it up.
Serenity now, insanity later. Seinfeld?
Exactly.
Seinfeld, anyone?
Yes.
Seinfeld?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Serenity now.
Serenity now. Thank you, someone. Thank you, someone got it. Thank you. So what I was going to say is also when we're talking about, my wife, of course, doesn't think that I'm less of a man, but what I'm trying to articulate is if you're in the dating circuit, Megan, I know you're in a relationship, I believe. Marcus is in a relationship. I'm married. Kevin's married. But we've all dated. And if you're single nowadays, I'm just trying to stage a hypothetical. Would it considered to be part of the narrative that if you're crying or if you show your emotion or wear your heart on your sleeve, that you're not as masculine as men who don't? Is that still a narrative? Is that still something that people are saying?
I don't think it is.
I speak for myself. I mean, when it comes to women, I can only speak for myself. Like I've always been the odd one out. So to me, it's no. I think it's ballsy for a guy, and it shows gumption. It shows someone who is kind of more whole, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Just like all around a little bit healthier, because they aren't trying to be like, misdirected anger is like one of the worst things in a relationship. Mm-hmm. And that happens when you just try to keep your emotions quelled. Hey, look at that.
Tequila.
You're pointing the wrong way. Well, at least on my screen.
Yeah, on my screen it's this way.
Oh yeah.
You're right.
Your camera looks good now, Jeff.
What is it? Is it an empty box?
It's empty.
That was
you're muted. I'll try to unmute you. No, I can't unmute you. You're muted on your own side.
There it
It's
is.
empty, but the bottle is over here. It's Don Julio Reposado.
Oh, I got
And that's empty.
you.
That energy drink for today.
So I want to get to some of these comments. If you guys saw anything that came out of the text, if you want to, or the chat, if you want to bring it up to the screen, let us know. Zeus just put in there's a big difference for being in tune with your emotions and just being a biatch. I get it.
There's a difference between whining.
There's a difference.
Being in touch.
So let me pose this to you, because I always like to bring something personal to some of these conversations that we have. And then you guys all know I have a 4-year-old at home. My 4-year-old is a great kid. I love him to death, but he does not want me to kiss him. He will go up to my wife, and my wife will go, "Come here, baby boy," and she'll come, and they kiss round the lips, no problem. I'll come over there, and I say, and he'll come over there, and he'd go like this, gives me the head, and I'm like,
Makes sense.
Dude, and then I'll grab him, and then I'm like, I'm kissing you anyway. I'll grab him like that. Even when I say kiss you on the cheek, he goes like this. And I don't know where he gets it from, but it may be something. I always say, sometimes you can pick up family traits so you don't even know the person. But my dad was like that. My dad was like the guy that even to this day, if I go up for a hug, he kind of sticks his, he just doesn't know how to exert or display any type of emotion outwardly. It's really hard for him because he didn't have his dad. His dad passed in the army before he was even born. So but he did have a stepfather, but I think that has a lot to do with why he doesn't show any much emotion. But I see that kind of trait in my son. It's just so weird that he absolutely will have all the emotion in the world. But if he falls, scrape something, "Dad, can you kiss it? Dad, can you kiss it? Oh, please kiss it." But when it comes to me like, "Hey, I love you, kid. Come here, let me give you a kiss." No.
I wonder if he prefers a different embrace from you. Just that level of affection. Maybe it's a weird thing receiving that energy from a male.
Well, where do men get that from? That's the thing. And he doesn't know, that because I've shown him affection his entire life, kissed him from the day he was born. So when does that switch from a man kind of turn off and go, "Oh, my dad kissing me"? I mean, I get it. People, I thought it'd be like 10 or 11. And it's not because he's a male. I'm saying it's wrong. I mean, I'm sure it's your daughters and other kids. I'm just saying, when does it go, boom, my dad is disgusting?
So let me ask you this question. Is he a mother's boy? And I don't mean that like we grow up, you mama's boy kind of thing. And the reason why I asked that question is my daughter's 4 months old, right?
Mm-hmm.
But she embraces that from me. So she kind of does the opposite. So she does to my wife what your son does to you. Now, granted, every now and again, of course, my wife still kisses on it, she'll do it, but like it'll be sometimes she's like, "Give me a kiss," and she will literally turn and like push out of the way and then turn around and give me a kiss. So, she's a daddy's girl though. Granted, we both give her love and affection, and she'll love on us both. But I wonder if he's starting to maybe understand that separation, and he likes that particular attention more from his mom than his dad.
So this goes to show you why I am an emotional individual, because I don't get no emotion at home. Just kidding. I get frozen out from everybody. Everybody's freezing me out on emotion.
Who is it? Tommy Lasorda? I get no respect.
Rodney Dangerfield.
Rodney Dangerfield. Yeah. Rodney.
Yeah, but I can relate. I can relate on the son front and the daughter front. So my son, just recently turned 26 about a couple of weeks ago. And to your point, when he was younger, I would kiss him on the lips, and I don't know when the switch happened. I want to say it was around 3, 4, 5 years old. And I noticed that he was not willing to do that anymore, which was fine. So then I moved from the lips to the forehead. and so I would kiss him on the forehead,
Mhm.
hug him, and always kiss him on the forehead. And then as time went on, he gets taller, and now he's, I have to look 10 feet up at him now. But now when I hug him, I still bend him down and I'll kiss him on his neck. So there's still ways to show that affection in a way that, that he would be receptive to that. Um, and then on the side of my daughter, same thing with my daughter. When she was younger, I would kiss her on the lips. But to this very day, she won't do that to me anymore. But she will climb up in my lap and hug on me and squeeze my neck in a heartbeat. But with her mom, she'll kiss her mom on the lips without even blinking. So you kind of just have to. The kids will kind of tell you and kind of help you figure out, like Jeff was saying, the type of affection or embrace that they're
Yeah.
looking for.
I don't think it has to be a thing of the love languages. He wants a different love language from you.
Right.
Well, so when we talk about your relationship with your children and your man, there I do see a difference. With mom, it's sit, cuddle, crafts, books. With dad, jump on me, and
Yes.
I'm sitting up there working on something, or we're sitting up there and there's a game he wants to play on iPad, and he wants me to get him through another level. If I'm on the couch, his butt's right here. His legs are right here on my arm as I'm sitting here going like this. And I'm like, why are you sitting up there like that? Dad, do this, blah, 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 blah. So I get that aspect of it. But as a man, as a father, and Kevin chime in here as well, you still, even with older children, you still as a father yearn for that intimacy with your children. And I know mothers have a mother's instinct and all that kind of stuff, so I'm not knocking anything from the relationship from the mother's perspective, but I feel as if from a man's perspective, I think it's important that we never lose that. I think that is something that we all yearn for and we should never give up on or be made fun of.
No, not at all. So I'm a hugger. So I give quick hugs to kids, family, whatever, just whatever. But there's some people that aren't huggers. Like my mother-in-law is not a hugger. So I go in and she goes back, and like I just know who to hug and who not to hug. So it's everybody's. You figure it out. But yep.
That's a good point because you're right. No matter who I meet, even if it's a guy, if I don't know you, I'm doing the handshake, bringing you in. Nice to meet you. If I see your wife or if you see my wife, it's always like, "Oh, hey, how you doing? Nice to see you again." Just anybody's wife I see. I mean, especially if I know they're good friends with my wife. It's always when they come to my house, I'm like, "Oh, hey, good to see you." And that's it. Unless I know they don't like me. If I know they think I'm an asshole, which I don't, I don't know.
And you really go in.
I don't do the ass out hug. I don't do the ass out hug. I put it all in. I'm like, come here, girl. Come here.
Swing them around. Let the feet kind of dangle in there.
Come around. Yeah. Like, girl, bear hug.
So, Brian, I have a question for you. Go ahead.
Sorry. I miss Mandy. They didn't think you were an asshole until you hugged them. Like, oh, this.
He was all handsy on that hug.
Why are you hugging my wife?
So, Brian, quick question. You mentioned how your son is sitting here and just that longing. I wonder if it's an opposite reaction from your wife, if she longs for maybe that interaction or even some of the interaction that you naturally get and she doesn't get it.
That's a good point.
I don't know. Question. She's in. Hopefully, I think she might be in the chat. So maybe she'll answer that question. I don't know. Did anybody see us on Facebook? Kevin said that he didn't see us live on Facebook, and I don't see any of the Facebook messages come through. So if you were watching us on Facebook, let me know.
Facebook is still a thing.
Trying not to be. I am trying not to let it be. If we can get 261 subscribers over here, we'd be in a lot better shape, and me and Marcus would be doing this chip challenge.
I know. I was gonna say.
I think I was the first like just now.
Oh, nice.
How come that? Y'all haven't even liked it yourselves.
I don't know why. I just don't even think about going in and liking it. I just put it on. That's it.
Liking what? You mean
liking the show?
What did you like, Megan?
Liking the video.
Oh, got it.
But now that you say
Are you liking it on?
Yeah,
Are you liking
I
it
see
on
it on
YouTube?
Facebook.
Oh, it is on Facebook.
Wow. Sorry.
I don't see it out there.
Okay, cool. Maybe it's because I blocked Kevin. I forgot I got to unblock him before the show. Damn it.
I just liked it.
I did also.
Yeah.
Oh, there's two. We got 2 likes on there. What happens if I
as well? So we'll see.
So Jennifer did say, "Oh, I definitely do. They have a special bond that I'm not cool enough for."
I didn't see that comment. Where the hell?
It's not in the chat.
Oh, I see it's in this. I see it on the live stream.
Son also does it to be cheeky.
Yeah.
Kiss me and then you and smirk like.
She's being a little sarcastic or cheeky with that comment. But it's funny because it's almost getting to a point where, as Jeff, you're a new father. Kevin has raised boys. Marcus has a son and a daughter. And one of those things is that you do see a shift on kids who know what they can get away with one parent and the other. Who is their emotional blanket and who is the one who they can, play around with. And my wife always, and it's probably like this in many households. Dad's the guy you can joke around and have fun with, but mom's around that and my wife's a stay-at-home mom, so she's around this kid all the time. She's also the teacher, the disciplinarian. And so when it's dad's time to get done with work or whatever, it's always play and fun. And I don't want to be the disciplinarian because I don't really have 12 hours a day with him. So I get to be the guy that gets mad. My wife gets mad at because she's fed up with the crap that he's put her through at 4 years old. And now it's time to play. And so there's a hefty kind of balancing act that you have to do as parents when you have especially when you're a stay-at-home mom and you're around a kid and you want to have this release at the end of the day for adult time, and you get this kid that is like, nope, I'm done with you, mom. You're mad at me, and I don't want to have to deal with you anymore. My dad says yes, and he knows it.
That's why they admit alcohol.
Time with daddy then, because you've been gone all day and he's been with mom. So shouldn't you get a reprieve because now the kid's busy with you?
Oh yeah, well, so that's
I think
that's not the complaint. That's not that's the complaint. Is not she shouldn't get us a reprieve. The complaint is when her reprieve is I told him no, and dad comes in and goes, well, let's have some fun, and she's mad at him, and he's supposed to be either quiet time or whatever, and I'm like, wait a minute, okay, but I need to have a little time, and I'll go and talk to him. And there's sometimes where I'm like, you know what, your mom, and it's getting to that point now more and more. Your mom said no, and he likes to play VR, and I'm like, listen, you got to go ask your mom now. You got to go ask your mom for all of this stuff, and he knows now. Dad will say yes, and I always go, nope, you got to go ask your mom on that one, Chief.
Yeah, it's Kevin Hart made a joke in one of the stand-ups about that. Coming in having to give a confused butt whooping. He's like, I don't know what you did, but your mama told me to mess you up. So, okay, yeah. that luckily we're not there, but that has to be a very interesting dynamic to where you come in. Maybe you're excited to see the kid. It's like, wait, I gotta come in. I gotta be that person. Oh, okay. Well, I guess that fun time that I wanted to have is over.
It's over. Well, but it's also a different dynamic now too, because when you work from home, I work from home. So it's not like I'm just coming home and then busting into the door and it's all daddy. It's knock on the door, dad, or I'm hearing the bickering or the whatever's going on in there. And I feel sometimes I have to interject myself, which I try not to do. It's not a good thing to interject, but I feel like sometimes I have to go rescue my wife from this 4-year-old. And that's a weird thing to say, but it sometimes feels that way because she's ready to pull her hair out, and you can't really just go and throw a 4-year-old through the wall. It's so I feel like sometimes I have to go in there and be the peacekeeper. And as a father, again, I'm trying to give male's perspective here on some of these life type of scenarios. It gets to be it's difficult being a dad. It's not easy. It's not easy, especially when you're working from home all the time.
Mhm.
Yeah, getting kind of back to the stigma from other men about men that are in touch with their feelings or aren't scared to wear pink or um it's
Don't
I
wear
think
pink.
that's just something that is because it used to be very common. In fact, it was very odd for men to be in touch or to even care about how their woman feels. I mean, I'm talking like from 50 years, 100 years, 200 years, and so on.
Yeah.
And like just that's the same stigma of, therapy and all that, and like things that I believe are healthy for all genders and all different types. I think some of the more manly men, those guys, they can really, really benefit from therapy.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Man, yeah, therapy's good.
You know what?
Like, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Joe.
One of the biggest takeaways that I had when my wife and I were going through couples like premarital counseling, right? We did post premarital counseling, so we got married and then we went through premarital. But one of the things that our counselor slash therapist, however you want to look at it, said was the story in my mind, and like that was such a powerful statement because we often go through life, if you're having heated fellowships, as we like to call them, versus arguments with your significant other. A lot of times we have these stories in our mind that we kind of run with, and sometimes there's no real basis behind that story, but we have to make that story up to justify the emotions that we might be going or behavior that we displayed. And sometimes having a simple conversation about what did you mean when you said this breaks down a lot of those barriers. But like, if I had not have been even open enough to go to therapy, I wouldn't even have that little piece in my repertoire to use. So, I think now we're coming into more people are being a little open as we see more high profile or celebrities talk about how they go through therapy. Even when you think about the Obamas, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like top of the world at one point in time, you probably wouldn't have thought that they ever went through therapy. But even with Michelle, she said, "Well, I told Barack he needed to go because I thought he needed to go, and come to find out, like I was more the issue. I needed to go probably more than he did." But I think until we just really take our pride and ego, set it to the side, and attempt to let somebody in, we won't get some of the healing that we need because we can't be as transparent as we need.
That's good stuff right there. That's kind of a good segue also too, what Megan has said and what Jeff was talking about as well for our second topic that I was going to bring up. When you talk about relationships and you talk about the men, how men were or behaved in the past, and some of the traits that some men even bring into relationships from those men in the past. Do you feel we're still in a society where there's a problem with men who don't want to date or have problems dating someone who out earns them or even outranks them in title? I want that sugar mama. I want that sugar mama. So,
Right?
okay.
Sugarmama.com, right?
Oh, wait, hold
I
on.
think
Let me look that up.
part of that depends on how she uses it, how the woman flexes her muscle with that. I think that's a large portion of it because sometimes
Freezing.
women in those positions can be somewhat emasculating. It's like I'm secure doing. Yes. So I think sometimes
You're skipping and frozen, Jeff.
that power shift of some men like I want my wife to level up, and that makes me go harder. Oh, is that better?
Yeah, you kind of you snapped in, but you kind of went in and out through your whole speech.
Well, yeah. If my wife out earns me, that's gonna make me go harder because I want to level up because that makes that we grow stronger together. But I know there are some men who they could not stand the idea behind the woman out earning them, and I think some women make that a lot harder for the men to accept.
I would have no problem with that whatsoever, as long as both are professional and you're both trying to earn. Like I've seen relationships where one is the earner and one is lazy and sits on the couch all day long every day. I got an issue with that. As long as they're both trying to provide for your family, then I don't care who out earns the other.
I've had a few guys that were just like decided not to continue working once they started dating me. It's like, oh, Megan's working.
Oh yeah, you're fine. Yeah.
New income household. It's much better than one.
Yeah.
But they just become super lazy, and I did start losing respect for them because I'm just like, get off your ass and go to work. Like you don't even clean the house while you're here. I'm like, I get so mad. They're like, oh well, it gets lonely cleaning the house by myself, and I'm like, oh.
It
like that blows my mind to even hear that. I'm like, I hadn't pick my jaw. Like what?
So
because that just doesn't exist to me like that. So it's so weird to hear that.
So I live. Say that again, Megan.
Oh, nothing. Go ahead. I was just saying it happens. It's weird.
It's funny because my mindset is completely different. It's just how I'm made up, I guess. Because I've had to kind of like work my way up through certain trials and tribulations. And then when I go through something, I always tell myself, man, that hardship, I don't want to go there again. So I'm always trying to put myself in positions to where I don't repeat certain aspects of learning events that happened into my life. And remember, when I say learning events, those aren't failures. Those are learning events that happened in my life. And what I try to do now, especially in the climate in which we live, and I actually benefit more than a lot of people since COVID, because being able to work from home has allowed me to not only do what I do, but also create other revenue streams coming in at the same time. Then it also frees up a lot of time that I can go and play golf with Kevin occasionally and take these times off and all these types of things. So it really has provided a little bit of financial security for me to a certain aspect. But if my wife earned more than me, and because who I am as an individual, it always depends, I guess, on the individual. I don't think it has to do with your sexuality or your sex, male or female. But if my wife out-earned me, I would still be the exact same ambitious individual that I am today. And if that is your makeup and that is who you are, having someone who out-earns you is only going to either help motivate you if you're ambitious, or sometimes you're just in a spot where you just feel like this is where I feel comfortable in my career, and that's okay as well. I don't think there's any problem with that.
Right.
Yeah. And I have no problem helping out, like, and supporting somebody as they're going through a hard time. But it's different when there's like, nah, I'm not going to work. And Brian, I show that you're still like you're buffering on my screen, but I think you're okay on YouTube.
Me?
It's clear on mine. But I also did just change my my Wi-Fi to a different network, but I guess I was the only person that was glitching on my end.
I thought I was watching and responding. If anybody in the chat thinks that we are buffering, let me know. Man, well, the chat just kind of filtered through.
Everybody's good on my side.
I think it's just me. So I might exit, but yeah. Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
So,
but
and I'll just piggyback on everything that everybody else has already said. I don't think I have no problems with it at all whatsoever. And then to your point, Jeff, it all depends on how, how the woman chooses to use that power. I mean, if she's really trying to emasculate you, then yeah, that may be an issue. But
I've seen that, and it is brutal.
Well, let me ask you a question though. You guys said this word. Yeah. This is the word that came out of two people, Jeff and Marcus. Is it power?
Well, In that instance, yes. In that instance, yes.
Because I'm hearing what you're saying.
One I'm thinking of as well.
Because is it a power trip if you out earn your wife or your significant other? If it's a man, is it a power trip?
It's not about the earning. It's not about how much you earn. It's how you use that and the energy you get out because you might out earn that person. It's not just that you out earn them.
Right.
No,
like in the case
I'm asking about the term.
This girl was very abrasive to her man on
it could be the same,
multiple occasions.
Well,
it was you just sitting around. You ain't even doing nothing. Like I mean, like she was in the military, so she was six figures. You know, she's captain. So BAH, BAS, she was good, right? And I mean, this guy was probably making like a little over $40,000, between 40 and 50,000. Again, out here trying to get it done, and she just, like what you doing? Like you ain't, that's all you can bring to the table. And it's like, I'm gonna move to a different state because there's a better opportunity for me, and we can see if this long distance dating thing works. I mean, that's how bad it was.
Yeah, because it goes both ways. I mean, the man could be misusing that power as well. So
absolutely.
Go ahead.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, Kevin. Look like you're about to say something.
No,
Well, I want to ask you again, if you are a man, and I've even seen the cameraman saying that he thinks that the man is supposed to provide financially for the woman. Is that considered, again, the term you guys have used is power? I don't consider my wife being a stay-at-home mother as me having power over anyone. Because at the end of the day, regardless if we butt heads about certain aspects of what we do in this house, my wife is the homemaker. She does and gets to make a lot of decisions outside of the air conditioning and heating. She does all of the other decision-making stuff. Where this goes, where that goes.
So she gets the remote control?
Hey, listen. Well, hold on. Hold on now. You done gone too far. Everybody knows that.
I mean,
no.
I mean, you said heat and air. You stopped at the remote. I thought that was interesting.
We've got 6 TVs in this house, so I'm control whatever room I'm in. I got the remote control. There are other TVs you could be comfortable in watching those other TVs. Now, I will tell you this, and I love my wife. My wife was like, hey now. But again, at the end of the day, if a woman out earns you, why is it considered her having power over you in respect to a man who out earns the woman not also having that same terminology applied to them in the same way? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Being a little devil's advocate here, of course.
I mean, I think we've used the idea of power in different aspects. Because I'm more talking about the people who are abusing the fact, or making that person maybe feel less because they are not performing up to, your standards from an income standpoint. That's more so what I'm talking about. It's not just about earning more. It's how you present yourself and your attitude around you earning more. The stuff you get.
Just because you make more money doesn't mean that it's more important than the fact that somebody's raising a healthy, happy child, right? They're both equally important. So, I've seen couples where people will dominate the other person and like, oh, what did you today? Well, I've been working all day. I'm making $200,000 a year, and you're not doing shit or whatever. It doesn't matter. Everybody's got roles and responsibilities, and everything in your life is important. Raising children is important. Making money is important. Just don't overwhelm your spouse one way or the other.
Right.
Key words, one way or another.
Yeah.
This is why I like having this type of forum, because having guys come up here, and Megan can also kind of give us another female's perspective. And I know you asked for someone else if they want to join. Megan, if any of the other ladies that joined, if they want to join the panel, if you want to give them access, please feel free to do so. I don't want you to feel like you're in an island all by yourself, being the only female up here. But at the end of the day, I also I encourage young men when I'll see somebody who, even if I'm at a restaurant, I went to Arby's the other day. My wife wanted something from Arby's, a little gyro sandwich from Arby's. And it was a crowded place. And I saw the young, they have gyros.
No, you said crowded.
It was crowded.
In Arby's?
Oh man, this place over here, it's like kind of new over here. And the line was wrapped around the building. And I think the line was wrapped around the building because they had like short staff or something.
They had to. I think Arby's is a drug front, honestly. Arby's and mattress places. I think they're like the biggest drug fronts in the world.
Well, when you saw the kid that was working there, you might have a point. But it was a teaching moment when I did this. It was the guy, he came out and he had like the gloves that when you use when you were preparing food. He had those on his hand coming out because he wanted me to park into the front to bring my food out to me. Knowing good and well that he was going to go back into that kitchen, use those same gloves to prepare somebody else's food. I took that moment and instead of going, man, that's nasty. I don't want this food. I don't know where your gloves been and all that kind of stuff again. I said, hey man, listen, this line is long. I'm not going to keep you here for a long time. But I said, but you don't want anybody to complain that you still have the gloves on, that you prepare food when you bring the food out here. I said, switch out the gloves, man. He goes, oh, okay. Thank you for telling me that. It's almost like he didn't even have training for someone to even teach him how to do something so minimal, and also something that is supposed to be like second nature when you're working in fast food. I never worked in fast food in my life, but still.
I have.
And brother, you would think it's second nature, but when Arby's, first of all, ain't used to a lot of customers most likely. So the fact that they have a long line, mentally,
I love Arby's.
I do too.
And he's just, I got all these sandwiches, and it can get crazy in fast food restaurants. That's one of the things I was like, I feel like everybody should work in fast food at least sometime in their life, and maybe do door-to-door sales. Both, it's humbling, man. It is humbling. Absolutely. Just like some people who in the restaurant industry, like I feel like everybody should be a server at some point in time. Mm-hmm. So you understand what they go through, because we probably all maybe given our server some crap before on something that maybe had nothing to do with them. And because they're the person who delivers your food, it's like probably all maybe give. What was that?
Nothing. I was putting on the Facebook channel and I didn't quite hit mute quick enough yet.
No worries.
Well, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about humbling. You're talking about all that door-to-door salesman crap. Imagine going door-to-door at the Watchtower and the Awake. That's humbling. That is humbling.
A what?
The Watchtower and the Awake. Jehovah's Witnesses going knocking from door to door. That's humbling. That's humbling, sir. I just do that.
Talking about a new movie coming out.
Join the television and movies again. We're all super.
Tower and Awake, we have a whole different outfit.
I couldn't resist. You said door-to-door salesman, and I just had to throw it out there. I rarely get through. Say what?
So do you prepare for Jehovah's return?
Because if you're not,
I got these pamphlets. That's a line from the original Friday movie, if you guys didn't catch that one.
The original Friday?
Yeah.
Back in the day?
Yeah, so you got Friday and then next Friday and Friday after next, and they're supposed to be doing another final Friday, I think it's called. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. The last Friday.
Now you mention it does bring it back.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna circle back around, but like that, it can get kind of crazy, and think about like some of these people, this is their first job. So you can go through that training, man, but sometimes that stuff goes out the window, but it's good that you diplomatically help that person out, because that might be that trigger saying, oh, you know what? Somebody brought this to my attention. That could be the thing that helps him remember his training.
So this is my mantra, not mantra. Mantra's the wrong word. Here's what I always try to do. And back in the day, I used to be really haughty, kind of arrogant, if you will. And Kevin will even attest that sometimes even when my cockiness would get to a point where if I saw somebody doing something stupid, rather than trying to admonish them, or not admonish them, but to encourage them and point them in the right direction, I'd be on them and making fun. I'd be like, dude, that's stupid, man. Whatever. Couldn't tell me nothing. But I also, again, there's a maturation process that everyone probably should go through in life. That when I see other people who doing something that I think maybe they could, use a little encouragement, not belittled in the capacity in which they are working, I'm all for that. I feel that if you are doing something that could be corrected, that actually can be corrected, it's a positive way to do those things, not just saying. And even in business, I used to be the guy that used to go to the help desk as a network engineer, and I'd go and tell the help desk that they were wrong. They didn't know what they were doing. And then I would be standing over the desk, and I'd take their mouse and go, here, let me show you how to do it. And it was just one of those things that I had to be put on corrective action earlier on in my career, thankfully, because at that time, it kind of put me in a path that actually led me to where I'm at today. And I think everybody deserves the exact same thing that I got in life. And I didn't always see that as a man all my life. I mean, especially when I was growing up and I was just so, arrogant and haughty and just.
You got to look at things through other people's. Not everybody has our experiences, right? So you got to look at things through their eyes and coach them and not berate them.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You got to just have the mutual respect, I think, is rule number one in life. Don't be a dick.
Right.
Just don't be a dick. You don't have to be.
I'm going to put that on a t-shirt. Don't be a dick.
It's such a simple rule, hard to abide by, and it encompasses so much.
Can you say don't be a Richard instead of Dick? I mean, don't be a Richard.
So what exactly?
All the Richards all over. I'm sorry, Marcus.
Wait, what did you say, Megan?
I was apologizing for talking over you because you're so quiet.
Oh, no, you're good. I was saying, what exactly does "don't be a dick" mean? Can we expect? No, I'm just kidding.
Don't be a negative Nancy. Don't be someone who doesn't just treats people like crap. Just disrespect.
So
that kind of thing.
Would this be a great time, since we're talking about not being a dick, to tell everyone that Megan likes playing in the tool store?
I like playing what?
Playing in the tool store. She likes playing with tools.
Okay.
Yeah, you see my tool cabinet.
I was like actual tools, or is that like an innuendo that just went over my head?
No innuendo. I can build things. I can work on my truck. Yeah, it's impressive. I have more tools than shoes.
All right, so actual tools. All right.
No, but there was the innuendos, because we talked about at the beginning that there was the innuendo.
The guys have innuendos.
Yes.
Me, I'm just like, no, tools. Yes, tools.
Yeah, you got to be careful with. You got to be careful with me.
Man, my wife we call it 80-20 because she'll say something. I'll look at it, but you know what? That was 80% innocent, but that 20%.
Yeah, that's what we're grabbing on too.
Hey, Megan, I've got a whole rack of DeWalt tools hanging in my office right now. I've got impact wrenches. I've got a Sawzall. I've got drills. Yes.
When it comes to tools, Kevin has remodeled his fireplace. He's done so much hands-on. It's crazy. I don't understand how he does it. I could barely, put pictures on the wall without putting so many holes in the wall because I can't find the stud. And it's weird. I can't do it.
I've remodeled every room of my house, including now the garage is my project right now.
Can you change a tire?
Yeah. In fact,
change a tire.
It's funny. So my wife got a flat the other day in her Infiniti. And I was like, well, just get the spare out because I was out of town. She goes, there's no spare. I go, what do you mean? And there's literally no spare in an Infiniti Q50 because they got run flat tires now.
Mm-hmm. I was just about to ask. They run flat.
Yeah.
So who can change a tire, right?
Yeah. Yes, I can change a tire. She can too. Yeah.
Man, that's a life lesson. I really feel like everybody, men, women, everybody should know how to change a tire.
Yeah, yes. and jumper cable a battery too. That's critical.
And boil water.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. All those things are going to be obsolete because you can't jump a Tesla or electric vehicle. Can do it. So you don't need to do that.
Right?
It's called a portable battery pack.
Battery?
It's called a portable battery pack that everybody's going to have in their car just to recharge in case there's not a charging station nearby.
Tap on your tongue first, and then sparks right on up.
That would hurt. Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Hand out for a storm.
Yeah, I think we're going to be one day. There's going to be a whole new different survival skill set that we're going to have to start teaching people compared to what we have.
We just got to have this generation of politicians die off, and maybe we can move forward.
Man, I'm so ready for the flying car.
Oh. Yes.
Right? That was supposed to be 2015.
Yo, so Terrafuji is a company that I've been following for a very long time. And I don't remember when I took my first flight lesson, but that was the main reason why I did it, because they were working, like the car has been out there for a very long time. It's a very workable model. Terrafugia, Terrafugia, out of California. You had to put like 10,000 down on like the prototype, and you had to have 10 hours of flight experience or something like that. And I got super excited, and I went, picked up my first flight lesson, and then everything got shelved because the FAA is trying to figure out how to create the lanes or what lanes you can fly in and all that.
Yeah,
yeah, man. And like their TF2 model was supposed to be like electric with a 550-mile range. Like it took off like a Harrier, and then went. And you only needed 5 hours of flight time with that one, because you literally put the GPS in and it takes off and goes, and you have the ability to abort landing because it will land for you. So like if you're going to go to a park and there's people there, of course you don't land at that point, but they shelved it, man. I'm so mad. And there's been so many other companies that have come out with different iterations of the flying car. Now it's long overdue.
Imagine all the regulations that would have to go around that, though, because people would be crashing into people's homes and running into roofs and running into other.
I will tell you what's going to come before flying cars are going to be amphibious cars first. I think they will have a car that is car, boat. I've seen a lot of those little models or working models of those cars. I think you'll see a lot more.
Well in Florida right now, probably.
Yeah, I would, and I think they will be a really hot seller, especially during hurricane flooding season.
Yeah.
Get one of those bad boys.
They got ATVs at one point in time. It was a 4-wheeler / jet ski, and it was really popular for only like a year or two, and then it got scrapped. And I don't remember the name of it, but some
remember that. Yeah.
Just get scrapped, and it doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, and like Megan's talking about in the chat, where are the real hoverboards? The hoverboards that came out with the wheels, those weren't hoverboards. Why were they called hoverboards? I will never understand.
Because it was the closest thing to it. I mean, yeah, it's the closest thing to it. And who was that? Tony Hawk. They did that little spoof commercial where you had Marty McFly with and it went viral because everybody thought like, yo, how's this thing really working? I was so upset with them for that because they made it look so real.
Yeah, I kind of think I remember that vaguely, but I've never been on one. I don't think I ever really had a desire to get on one. But
have you done at least like the Lime bike?
Well, don't talk about bikes on this conversation. I don't want to talk about bikes.
Okay, scooters.
No electric bikes.
Did you have an accident? Did you have an accident, Brian?
That's what I was kind of like. I don't want to talk about bikes. Nope, don't talk.
Can we talk about Lime scooters then, and birds, and whoever else got one?
So here's a quick funny, real quick though, Jeff. I don't know if you heard the story. So the tournament that Kevin and I played, it was funny because I wasn't really sure if it was at Sky Creek that the accident actually happened. So we're grabbing some food and we walk out, and I look down and I go, man, this reminds me of the bicycle accident. And Kevin goes, remind you, this is the right place for it. I was like, oh my gosh, yes, this is right where it was. And then as we start kind of rehashing the whole story, I go home and Kevin sends me a picture of the exact same people with the exact same bikes going through that area again. And I'm like, geez.
So how did that happen?
What?
Oh, so anyway, because you didn't hear the story.
So this was right after like electric bikes were like invented. This was probably 2018, 2017. I don't know when it was or when they're invented, but so Brian and I come out of the clubhouse. We see a couple with these really expensive electric bikes, and we're like, "Oh my God, those are so cool!" And the couple said, "Yeah, we just bought them. They're like $5,500 a piece or whatever." And of course, we say, "Oh well, we got to ride them." So I hop on one, and then Brian hops on one, and then I take off, and then Brian takes off, and then immediately goes ass overhead down a hill, and the bike is like doing somersaults, and then they're both stuck in a bush somewhere. So
yeah, I might.
I knew it was bad, so I turn around and I'm distracting the couple because I don't want them to know that Brian just wrecked their $5,000 bike. And then I kind of successfully did, but then Brian's like yanking the bike out of the bushes, and then we returned the bike, and it was kind of wobbly, I think.
Yeah.
But
it was still operational. Still operational.
Or is like the pedal electric that like once you start it kind of
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
You can fly on those things. So here's the thing. To my defense, Kevin took the lower of the two bikes, and this guy was like 6'4", 6 something, and his bike was really, really high. So my feet weren't not touching the ground when I go over the seat. I was on my very tippy toes. So you know when you stop a bike, you kind of want to like put your feet down. I got down that hill.
Oh, I'm not Fred Flintstone. That's not how I stop a bike, brother.
Dude, no, you come to a stop, but then when you come to a rest, you put your feet down.
Okay, that's different.
I came down this thing, man. I don't know what happened, and next thing you know, I'm tall. And then Kevin was like distracted because he wanted to make sure the bike was okay. He was laughing his ass off. He didn't even ask me. To this day, I don't think he asked me if I was okay. He was
I was more worried about the bike.
Yeah, and it was funny. No, we wish we would have had it recorded. Kevin recorded. I think you recorded a picture of the bikes.
I've got a picture of the bike, yes.
Yeah, but we didn't record the actual incident.
No, unfortunately. That would have been viral.
Yeah, it would have definitely been viral. I wonder if Sky Creek had security cameras pointing at that area and they recorded it. That would have been funny. That would have been hilarious. Did Jeff go get the drink? Oh, yeah, that's the bike. Those are the bikes. Yeah.
Does it have the big fat tires on it? Is that what
it is?
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they were not the BMXs. These were really high end bicycles.
I don't know how it compares to what we rode in Dubai, but those things are really zippy, man. We went to the World Expo, and of course the World Expo is freaking massively huge to where if you're trying to walk from one side to the next, it's not, there's plenty of stuff to see and distract you, but that's a hike to get around the park. So we would just rent those things and just zip around, and you'd be surprised at how quickly the little electricity.
Yeah.
Oh, they're fun, man.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, bro, that it happened to you. But, all the people listening out there, get them. They're fun.
As you can see, I'm scarred for life. I don't want to talk about bicycles ever in life.
Well, I was more so referencing the scooters, which
mm-hmm.
Those have taken some people out too. I will say.
Absolutely, I have never gotten on one of those. Well, I take that back. In Arkansas, I think I did get on one of those. Yeah,
that was a hot thing to do when it came to Arkansas.
Yeah. Well, I used to take one.
They're expensive now, by the way.
Right from the offices, there used to be one. I think I took it from the office to that little place called the Brewskis, whatever, the little small point right across from Samantha's.
Yeah. Shoot pool?
Yeah, right where we shoot pool. Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah. Bruce, I think it's Brewski's. Brewski's 2 or something like that. So when I was in Little Rock this past time, I wanted to leave my wife with a car in case, she needed to go anywhere because she had the baby with her. So I hopped on the line and kind of zipped around. They are freaking expensive nowadays. Like I literally went, I don't know, I think it was less than, 3 miles altogether. Literally went, grabbed some food or something like that and came. It was like $25. I was mad. I was like, I probably should have just walked. Like I'm thinking, because I don't know when the price went up, but it's like 39 cents a minute, I believe, or something like that. And it's like $1 unlocking fee.
Yeah.
So that adds up really quickly. Now I don't know what it used to be, but I know now that no.
And you got to have that credit card. Yeah, and you got to have that credit card to start it. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to say I spent maybe close to $40 over the course of 2 or 3 days using those. Like it would have been cheaper to Uber, like hands down. Wouldn't have been as fun, but it definitely would have been cheaper to just Uber. And this is in Little Rock. I don't know if they throttle them like the price per cities, if it's different in like in New York or something like that. But good night.
I got a motorcycle story too. So Liz was talking about Brian stay away from the Harleys. So when I was working in for AT&T in downtown St. Louis, and I think I told Kevin this. I don't know if I told the story, but I think I told you that I used to work for AT&T, and I was in this apartment that had a rooftop pool. And on this rooftop pool, everybody used to go up there, and I was like the life of the party, of course, and all this other stuff. But there was a guy who was there, and he was actually a police officer, but he parked his motorcycle in front of the apartment complex because he was a cop. Nobody's going to tell with the cop's motorcycle. Well, one day he was doing something. His name was Mike Jones, believe it or not. And he goes, "Hey, Brian, I can't be where I need to be, and I didn't put my something, whatever, that shows that I'm a police officer on my bike. Can you move it for me?" I go, "Fuck yeah." I ain't never been on a motorcycle my entire life, dog. My entire life. I got on this
Why
thing.
did you do that?
I don't know. I told you, I was like 26, 27 at the time. I don't know. I was just being stupid. And trust me, it's not all what you think it is. I didn't even get the thing started. Somebody was walking by or something, and he said, "Hey, just put it in neutral and just push it somewhere." So he showed me how to put that thing in neutral, and I walked that bike around the corner, around in the driveway or in the little parking garage. And I was like, man, I probably would have killed myself if I would have got on that stupid bike.
Well, I've owned many, many motorcycles in my lifetime, and the fact that you did not jump on that thing and start it up makes me happy because you would have killed yourself.
Yes. Absolutely. I would not be here to been on that bike to have you laugh at me. Do you know how to ride a motorcycle, Kevin?
I used to race motocross.
You know what? I do. Now that you mentioned that, I do remember you saying, I remember seeing pictures. I
had street bikes and dirt bikes, and I haven't had one since I was 22, 23, but those days are long gone. I will never own another motorcycle.
Yeah.
After seeing people split through cars and traffic and doing wheelies down the tollway, I'm done. I'm done with motorcycles.
Marcus, did you have something you want to say?
Oh, no. I was gonna say, I've never ridden on a motorcycle before. I don't know if I've lost my edge or what, but
yeah, I don't have that desire anymore. But again, even what Liz was saying, and Flaky Jake was saying, that when you're young, you kind of sometimes feel like you're invincible, and and that we're talking about the masculinity of a man. That was ingrained upon me growing up. I mean, I grew up around men who always said, "Brian, you got to toughen up." And even being a smart kid and being a scrawny kid for a long period of time in my life, I wasn't the tallest kid in school. I wasn't the strongest kid when I was in school. I wasn't until I'll be honest with you. It was after my 9th grade year where I really started hitting the weights, bulking up, and getting concerned about my appearance, because girls started thinking I was cute by the 9th grade. If they thought I was cute before the 9th grade, I don't know. It probably, I knew they were good looking at the time. There were a couple of women or girls at school in Liberty that I thought were, man, these are the hottest girls here. But if they thought I was cute, I had no idea. Couldn't go to dances because I was Jehovah's Witness or anything like that, because that stuff just I couldn't act upon it. So when I finally got to a point where I was able to do it, it was that masculinity that was ingrained upon me. And that's kind of one of the reasons why I'm talking about these things now, is because there's a level of masculinity when you grow up in the 80s and the 90s that is ingrained upon you from an early age, that you have to be this certain type of guy that no longer really fits in today's society. You don't have to be able to ride a motorcycle. You don't have to love motocross or NASCAR racing in order to be a rough and rugged masculine man today. See how I brought that all the way back around?
Good job.
Thank you.
I don't know. You just got to be yourself. The reason my wife and I get along so well is because I don't try to pretend to be somebody. She doesn't try to pretend to be anybody. If I'm doing something she doesn't like, she goes, quit being a jerk. And if she does something I don't like, I go, quit doing that. And then we'll, oh, okay. Then we immediately see each other's point of view. You just call each other out. It's easy. Don't pretend to be somebody you're not supposed to be.
Kevin shared this with me when we were
Thanks,
golfing.
Liz.
Kevin shared that with me when we were golfing, and it's something that, you really don't understand. And I keep trying to press upon, and I love, again, having men of our caliber come out here and discuss things that men can talk about. And I know I'm very susceptible to saying things right off the top of my head without thought. Especially when I feel as if someone is making me feel as if they are superior to me, or they don't have, they don't value my worth as an individual. I always kind of come right off the top, and sometimes I say things that I don't mean. In relationships, when you are so comfortable living with someone day in and day out, I think that it's, for me personally, I think that kind of escapes me, that you still have to be measured in how you speak to one another. And there are times where I'm still learning. I mean, my wife and I have been married for going on 5 years, and it's still a learning process to where I have to lower the temperature in the room, make sure that I'm not going to say anything that's really just going to escalate things. And if she tells me you're being a jerk or whatever, and I think we're working on other kind of like phrases to say, or even if it's
she doesn't
like,
say jerk, she says other words, by the way.
Yeah, like you're being an asshole, Kevin. if there's things where you can say, hey, you know what? I'm done with this conversation. I need a timeout. I'm just going to remove myself. And my wife does that better than I'll sit there and I'm like, I don't care. She mad. Let her do it. She'll get up and she'll go to the bedroom 10 minutes, and then she'll come back out of the bedroom. And then that's what she's been working on. I've noticed that she's been doing that. But for men, I think it's just I think it has to be more discussed that, women are not necessarily the weaker vessel. A lot of people want to use that term out there, but I think that they are more emotional in reaction than we are. And so if they're acting on emotion, sometimes I have to back up and go, wait a minute, I'm thinking more, with my head and not about how I feel about something. And she's talking about how she felt about how I said what I said about it. And I kind of struggle with that from all the time, actually.
Yeah. I think men naturally just tend to be more logical in our thought process and don't necessarily equate some emotions to it. It's like, well, no, it's boom, boom, boom. It's like, well, how do you feel about that? I don't know. I'm not thinking about feelings right now. I'm thinking about the solution, because the solution might come just naturally, logically to us. But to like, even like the earlier discussion of being able to tap into your feelings, sometimes that's a foreign language for us, is to understand and articulate what a feeling is, because we're boom, 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 boom. A lot of times we're fast with it, because it's like, all right, cool. We don't want to spend a lot of time arguing. What's the solution at the end of the day? So going back to even a therapy thing, it was taught to us to focus on the problem, not the person.
Mm-hmm. That's hard to do. It's hard to do. Listen,
Yeah,
it's hard to do.
it can be when the emotions are high, and that's why hopefully somebody is a person that can kind of be level headed. Like we like to use safe words, and for those out there, typically you hear safe words used in the bedroom, but sometimes we use it in the middle of a potential heated fellowship, or if it's a question or avenue that I'm not trying to go down. Boom, pineapples or whatever your safe word is, and that just kind of stops it. Like I'm not in the space for that right now. We need to stop.
Pineapple might reference something else, though.
It could be. It could be.
Especially if it's upside down.
Yeah.
Upside down pineapple.
So hopefully that helps somebody out there in the audience. If you are, have some contentious moments with your significant other, see if you can implement a safe word that means, hey, we got to press pause on this. Like, I'm at that tipping point that if we don't stop now, I'm gonna verbally vomit whatever, and then it's not gonna be pretty.
Well, so let me ask you this question, and I say this to my brothers and my sisters about things that they. And by the way, Kevin's got the loudest dog in the history of dogs. That dog never stops snorting.
Oh, baby.
You hear that, dog?
I hear it. That's funny.
So here's what I always tell people: if you go and bump into a stranger on the street, instincts will tell you, "I'm sorry. My bad, sorry," and you keep it moving.
You would think.
But the closest people that we are around when they have something like that, we want to be more hurt or offended by that transgression than we would a stranger. And I just don't understand why that's the case. If you love someone, you're in the same house, and you're always, working toward the goal of living life forever, why do the smallest transgressions turn out to be the biggest in your eyes when you would not do that same thing when a stranger had just a small transgression against you, like running into that? Kevin, I'm not sure if you're watching the chat, by the way, just real quick. Let me go on the chat real quick. They've called Kevin Mr. Pink Shirt. Mr. Pink Shirt. I've introduced Kevin. Mr. Pink Shirt is Kevin, everybody. And Liz is asking if that was a pug to Kevin.
Oh, it's a Boston Terrier. Not a pug. It sounds like a pug.
It looks like a pug, sounds like a pug, but it is not a pug. You don't say that very often.
I got a black Boston too.
So it's not Frank.
I was playing you guys in the kitchen. I'm sorry, my snack turned into a little longer, but can you repeat that last question? Because I was running back into my office.
Dude, I don't even know what it was.
About the transgressions? About why would you treat apologize to someone who you bump into the street, who's a stranger, for a small incident, where if you were in a relationship or even with your family members, you let a small transgression blow up into something bigger without just readily being ready to apologize if they felt that you were impeding on their, whatever, their feelings, their whatever, personal space or whatever.
I mean, that brought up two things in my mind, but the first one, to kind of what you're getting at, is that it's the same thing as where you are harsher to the person you're closest with. Like you treat everybody differently than the person you're closest with because you trust that person. You trust that they're not going to be gone or bail on you. So you tend to be more harsh on them or harder on them because you trust that they're going to still be there for you.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to apologizing, I come across a lot of people that just start almost every sentence with "I'm sorry." And I will point it out each time. I'll be like, "Why are you sorry?" Because they don't even realize that they start sentences with "I'm sorry." And the first person that I noticed this with, that it wasn't just me that would point it out, it was my colleagues as well. He's like, "Oh my gosh, I do say I'm sorry a lot." He had an abusive wife at home,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, just his natural response to everything was always, "I'm sorry."
True.
And I'm like, why? Why are you sorry? You got nothing to be sorry for. So
Let me just say this. I don't like the word "I'm sorry," the phrase "I'm sorry." I just don't.
Apologize.
It's empty to me. It's empty. And
That's
maybe
why I apologize.
well, I don't
apologize.
well, it's not even
Say
apology. I don't even like the word I apologize or I'm sorry. Those are empty words to me. And let me tell you why.
Okay.
Let me tell you why. The sentiment doesn't always correlate to the action after the sentiment. So if you sit there and I would rather you sit there and tell me, and I know everybody's not on the same page with me on this one, I get it. But I would rather you say, you know what? I acted this way and I shouldn't have. And if you say all those things and then in the middle or at the end of all those things, say, I'm sorry, great. But just saying I'm sorry doesn't cut it with me ever. It just doesn't. I'm just wired different. Yeah, I'm wired differently. It's all lip service.
So say it again. You want somebody to do what?
I would rather you sit there and say, you know, I said this to you and I shouldn't have. Or I acted this way because I felt this way. And because I felt that way, I shouldn't have. Or not that I'm making excuses for that behavior, but I'm telling you that the behavior was, I was responsible for that behavior because I felt this way and I shouldn't have. And I'm sorry. That's fine.
You want to express regret.
Well, it's not express regret. No, it's not that. It's more like, this is how I'm feeling. This is why I reacted the way I reacted. And it could be seen as an apology.
Or genuinely.
It's an explanation, and you're saying why. That way there's a change. There's a difference in the future.
Okay. So the reason why I asked that, most people have heard of the 5 love languages, right?
Yes.
Really, but you should also read the other book, which is the 4 apologies languages, right? Because it's 2 versions of it. So he has the 4 apologies languages, and the other book is when sorry is not enough, right? So Brian, back to your point, you don't want to hear I'm sorry, like that's not enough. Meaning, because to your point, it's empty. So I remember one time my wife and I had this conversation, and she's like, "I'm sorry you feel that way," and I'm like, "Wait, what?" Like that's your takeaway from there. Like, so not acknowledging.
That's not even an apology. I'm sorry you feel that way. Yeah,
right. But
sorry, again, I did. I'm just sorry you feel that way.
Right.
Bullshit. It's a bullshit apology. Sorry, pardon my language.
It's in her mind though, because based on the way maybe she prefers an apology, that could have been a genuine response. But for me, if accepting responsibility is my primary apology language, that's empty to me, right? Mm-hmm. So when you learn the 5 love languages and then also the apology languages, man, there's so many conversations that go on between us, and we are so unaware without understanding the basis of that. So I would say maybe pick up that book and take a good read. It is eye-opening because we just don't know what we don't know.
How many men do you know would give you a hard time for what you just said?
I don't care. like
I'm not giving you a hard time. I'm just saying, like, that's a thing.
No, I wasn't saying like, oh man, they can give me a hard time, but again, this goes back to like the therapy. If we don't kind of put that stuff out there, some people will never learn.
Yes.
You know,
Brian said, you said you don't mind sleeping in the guest room?
Or the couch, or my son's room, wherever I need to sleep, as long as I can get some sleep, I don't care at the end of the day. I'm kidding though. I'm kidding. You know, it's funny because I don't like sleeping away. My wife will actually go and say, I'm going to sleep somewhere else before I will. I'll go to my bed because I'm ready to sleep, and I got to work in the morning, and the one place I'm going to sleep is in my bed if I have to. But I will tell you this. I'm not a perfect individual. I'm not the guy. I didn't read all of the love languages that Jeff is talking about, but I will tell you this. I have grown, and I continue to grow in my relationship because I've known what relationships that did not work. I'm sure everybody on this panel knows what it takes to not have a relationship work. And I've learned from those things. And I will also tell you that an apology from a man is not having your wife or your person you're in a relationship in bed and you take off all your clothes and you spoon up to her and go, I'm sorry, baby, and think you're going to get some hunching that night. You know, we've all been there. We've all been there. Don't lie. Everybody on this panel knows when we were younger, we thought the apology automatically came with sex from a
Yeah,
male's
you're supposed to
perspective.
kiss and make up, right?
Or time
That's
that
how I
has passed.
am.
Yeah, what'd you say, Megan? Time is what?
Time that has passed, past time.
Yes.
Like if you let enough time pass when she's angry, well, she's gonna get over it, and that means that you're forgiven. Well, it doesn't mean you're forgiven. It just means that time has passed, and she's not gonna hold a grudge because she's a better person than you. And I'm just kidding. I'm getting biased, but no, it's true on both sides. Like time passed that you just avoid the conflict doesn't mean that whatever you did wrong or whatever the conflict is forgotten or forgiven. It's gonna stem back up again. I learned that from a self-aware narcissist on YouTube.
Was that me? Oh, okay. You know another one. I'm sorry. I didn't know you knew two. I thought it was just me.
Come on, self-aware narcissists announce that every time they come onto a live.
Gotcha. You know, and that's the thing about, you know, I love again about us having these conversations because I love to get in men's perspective because every time you talk about men in a forum, we're always talking about finances, how much money we make, what we're doing for careers. If you go to a party and all the men get into a circle, oh hey Brian, how you doing? What do you do for a living? First thing that comes out of their mouth. Oh, what are you doing? Or if you're on the golf course, it goes, oh hey, how you doing? What kind of club you got there? What is your handicap? Or what's going on over here?
How you hitting them today?
Yeah, how you hitting them today? You know, all that kind of stuff. Are you a member? Are you this? Are you whatever? All that kind of stuff. It's always about these titles or these, you know, things that come along with why we are here together in a room, rather than talking about, you know, things that matter. And you don't talk about these things that matter right when you first meet somebody. I'm not suggesting that you do, but very rarely do you get into a forum where you can talk about relationships, child raising, rearing, you know, all these types of things that we're discussing right now, in a consortium of men, and get really honest answers and feedback, and then getting people from the chat, which we appreciate so much. By the way, I want to say hello to first timers. I've never seen Julia before. Julia, welcome to Drinks and Discussions, the viewer from Facebook. If you're on Facebook and you're watching this, please join us on YouTube. I promise you it's a better time because you can see other people's chats, not just in the actual screen. You can actually interact with them live instead of just seeing them right there as you show up on the screen. Anybody else that I miss? Anyone see anybody else come in? I know we're missing a lot of different things what you guys are saying in the chat, so I apologize for that. But I just want to make sure we talk about and say hello to people that I don't think I've ever seen in here before. So
you guys are playing fancy golf now. You're talking about, are you a member? Like,
oh, wait a minute. Let me explain something to you, by the way, Jeff. I played with Jeff in Arkansas one time. Jeff is on par with Kevin. I will tell you that. Jeff's a good, if not great golfer.
Well, I'm going to invite Jeff to my next member guest tournament then.
He's in Mexico, and as long as
let me know in advance.
He's in Mexico. Oh, by the way, I did. You know, my I know this is stupid, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
We only played one time, bro?
I thought it was only one time out at Arkansas Country Club.
Yeah, because I thought we played more than once, man.
I did get a new club, Kevin.
Oh, you got 56. Okay.
Yeah, that's cool. That's the problem I have with my short game, so I had to get that one.
What degree bounce is that, or do you not have a degree bounce on it?
Listen, man, I ain't trying to do all that right now on this live stream. You get to me on the side chat. Get to me on that. We got it. Go ahead, Kevin.
I got to drop, but to circle around to apologies and everything. So I think it's all about actions are louder than words. So you can apologize for whatever you want. If you're a jerk and you get drunk every night, oh, I'm sorry, babe, I got drunk. I'm sorry I did this. I'm sorry to that. If your actions don't change, then apologies mean nothing.
Exactly.
Right.
I just call it lip service.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And I
Reese
think that falls
got
on
a
the make
bunch of lip service about how things are going to change, and I'm like, lip service. That's all I said. I was like, lip service. Just know,
what's going to
do
change?
the change. Don't tell me about it. Just be the change that you want to be.
Yeah.
That's my motto.
Well, I just want to say, Kevin, I appreciate you for joining us. I know you had sushi night and you had golf today.
I had a big day, golf and sushi.
But before you go, I know you're not going to go until the end because we're going to wrap it up here in a little minute too. But before you go, any last words for all of our viewers in the panel, because we always do that at the end of the show anyway.
Last words?
Yeah, just say anything that you want to say. Positive words for anybody.
I don't know. Boston Terriers are better than pugs.
And Jack Russells are below all of them.
I used to have a Jack Russell. They're hyper.
Pain in the ass, right?
All right. All right, Kevin.
Guys.
We appreciate you, buddy.
Talk to y'all later.
We'll golf next week. Let's golf next week, man.
Take care, Kevin.
Bye, Kevin.
And what I don't know why the cameraman didn't come on panel tonight, but he was actually. We're not going anywhere, by the way, in the chat. Only Kevin was leaving for right now. I at least have another few minutes. I mean, I haven't seen Jeff in a while, so I don't know how much time you guys have left, but I got a few more minutes in me. But I will tell you this. Jeff is a better golfer than I anticipated, and I also need to get Marcus in the game. We got to get Marcus in the game.
Fun times, Marcus. It's probably one of the toughest things you'll grow to love.
I don't know that I have the patience.
Watching and playing is different. Like big difference. And like I used to feel bad because for me, I've been golfing for 20-some years and I love the game, but to watch it, I would fall asleep. And I would like waking up like, dang, like why can I look, this is so boring to watch.
Mm-hmm.
So I get it when you look if you're doing it, if you're thinking that way from a watching only standpoint, because it's like watching paint dry. Brother, but when you get out there and play, it's different because you got the camaraderie with people maybe that you're playing with. For me, it's almost like a therapy in and of itself because I'm outside, I'm connecting with nature, I'm doing something that's somewhat athletic, if you will. But sometimes I just like to go out there and think. I might listen to an audio book or just kind of space out and be one with nature. And golf is such a mental thing. So thinking through your shots and how you want this, it's a lot that kind of goes into the game. So I would say go play it a little bit and give it a fair shot, because if you just watch it, it is boring sometimes.
I got some clubs for you, Marcus. And by the way, I will tell you this. Every person that you meet on the golf course, I would say not every person, 97% of the people you meet on the golf course, you're going to actually think these are the greatest people in the world, because you get paired up with strangers, like we were talking about before. And when you get paired up with strangers and they are going to show you things, if you allow it, because sometimes I'm just like, shut up, don't tell me how to swing my club, even if I shank that last shot. But there are people who, like, if you want to hear this, and they give you some tips, they will give you tips, and it's just a great time. And Marcus, you're an athlete. And if you're an athlete and you want to go out there and compete against people who are crushing it, you're going to sit there and go, I can crush it too. I can't wait to get better than them because I don't want to lose.
Yeah.
Bam.
I'm not a baseball fan, but I will go to a live game and enjoy it. But to watch it on TV, I just and there's I love some good baseball turns and but just to watch it on TV, not a fan, man. Mm-mm. I catch the highlights and be like, oh man, that was good. So, but live games, I'm about that life.
I don't know who Julia the Dum Dum is, but probably in the wrong channel. Just let you know. We don't talk about people in the chat. If anybody wants to remove the chat that was put out there, we're not discouraging or putting any discouraging comments out there to people. I guess you know what? I think I can do that. I've never done it. Megan, you might need to show me how to do this. Where is it?
Oh, I just found the show chat button. Ha.
You didn't even see. That's crazy.
Well, like apparently what I'm looking at is from a long time ago, because like my comment is from 8/23 of 2022. So I don't know what this new chat thread is, but like
I'm trying to find
That was
back.
my birthday. That's why it was so. That's why it stands out.
I'm trying to go back to the comments because I don't even
That's your
see
birthday?
that.
Oh, okay. Happy belated. Focus inbox.
Wait a
more.
minute. We celebrated Megan's birthday, didn't we? Yeah, we did.
We must have. I mean, I was here that day, so I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we sang.
That's
sang
right.
and
That's what we
everything.
had. We had the song. We did sing. Right. That's right. Right. And Liz is all mad. Listen, let me tell you something about Liz. Lakey Jake, you don't want to talk about sports, but then you want to talk about sports when the Astros kick your Seattle Mariners ass, and now you want to be all mad because I don't follow sports.
That popped up for like 5 minutes last time, I think.
No. Flaky Jake is Liz. She's just always in the chat. I'm not sure who Liz that popped up last time was. I'm not sure. Not really sure.
Yeah, I think I found another chat. We'll see how.
And we're not talking about it in the sports, Megan. I would say Liz is the one who says she never wants to talk about sports. It's so boring to her. And guess who brings up sports? Anybody want to guess? Any raise of hands? Who wants to talk about sports? Who brought it up? No, it was Liz. Liz brought up baseball.
Oh. Yeah, I was pointing at the chat. Sorry.
Oh, I thought you were pointing at me.
Okay. I thought my bad.
My chat is right here. It's right here.
Oh.
Where's the chat button?
I got Megan here, Marcus here, and then down here in the corner I got Jeff.
I'm surrounded by Brady's. I don't know.
Who's Brady? Brady who?
Huh?
The Brady Bunch. The original boxes of people talking.
I see what you did there.
I see what you did there too.
I think I am the youngest person in this group.
By the way, I'm not sure if you're a fan of America's The Masked Singer, but The Masked Singer actually had Greg, Peter, and Bobby as three on the same. They were a part of the same group. They were on The Masked Singer. Speaking of the Brady Bunch,
Pierre, and Bobby. Who are these people?
The Brady Bunch, the brothers.
Oh, brother,
I know their names. I mean,
Bobby, that's what I was going with.
Yeah, those guys.
Those guys.
Yeah. Listen, let me tell you, growing up, we had 3 or 4 channels at work. 2 and 9 were the same. 4 and 10 were the same. 7 was a standalone, and like 11 was different. And if it rained and we turned the antenna just right, we can get sometimes Fox 16 or UPN 38, but typically only when it rained. And that was barely.
You had the rabbit ears?
So, man, no. We had like the old school big antenna that was kind of attached to the house where we had to reach out the window or have somebody to go outside. Really, Megan?
Megan's not the nurse.
The nurse had to pop on her head. We would literally have somebody to go outside and like turn, and we'd be here like right there. And it was bad. They still to this day will not run cable in the neighborhood that I grew up in. Absolutely will not. So everybody has like satellite. It was 49 people in my graduating class in high school, brother. It was not a lot going on.
What were you gonna say, Megan? Anything?
Heineken?
No, those are birds. Oh,
man, that's Ducati.
CBD oils. Oh, Ducati. Okay.
I don't know. It could be Heineken. It's a green bottle. I was just having fun with the camera effects.
I actually started doing that when I was doing the Halloween promo. I was using the Snapcam, and I had forgotten all about the Snapcam. I hadn't used that in so long. It was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's always AJOT that reminds me.
Who?
Another channel creator.
Oh, like I don't know who that is. All right.
But yeah. This is a good subject. I have like more maybe questions or insights, but I might just be the wrong female for it because I've always been like, guys have always been my friends more so like even as a child in high school and throughout all my years, I've always been one of the guys.
Mm-hmm.
And but I've had to make it very clear with like all my guy friends where it is not going to go. Like, don't expect to get anywhere with me that you're thinking. I have to make that clear right off the get go. And that's, it helps.
Okay, topic for next week. I've never heard it put that way from a woman's perspective, because I would love to know. No one's ever put me intentionally in the friend zone. And you're saying that you put every friend you know in the friend zone up front. That's unheard of.
He said every friend I know in the friend zone. So
yeah, the friends that you know. So again,
I'm talking about the people I hang out with one-on-one, like where everyone just assumes like you're just gonna sleep together. And I'm like, that's not how it is with me. I just don't do that.
Well, that's what I'm going with.
Make it clear, like, hey, let's just get that off the page. But yeah, that could be a subject for next week.
Yes, because no one's ever told me growing up that I was in the friend zone and not to try nothing. Marcus?
I mean, the friend zone isn't permanent.
No.
But when I first meet someone and I'm hanging out with them, I'm just like, don't expect me to jump in the bed.
Okay, so I'm thinking we're talking about two different things. Then I'm thinking you're like a little group of guys, and everybody is getting friendly over a course of time, and then you're like, hey, we're friends, and I want to continue to be friends, even though you're trying to be more than friends, and you're putting them on notice that they are in the friend zone. I've never been put on the notice until it was too late. And then I got my tail stuck between my legs, and I'm crying to my mama because my daddy don't want to hug me. See how I stuck with all that back?
Yeah, I know. It's just, when I just like initially, like, don't expect me to just jump into bed with somebody. Like, that's not how I roll. But it's not a permanent friend zone. When you friend zone someone, that is when it's too late. That's when there's no attraction. You're going to be friend zoned, but that's not the initial meet.
Yeah. I'm not talking about the first time we meet and we're friends and I'm thinking I'm going to have sex with you. I'm thinking you're saying, hey, I'm hanging out with all my friends and we're all friends. And I'm going to tell all you guys, because you're my friends, that you're in the friend zone. And don't try anything. No one's ever said that to me. That's what I kind of thought you were saying, but I'm glad you clarified.
I get that. Definitely. I can see that. But I didn't mean that. As you can see, I've had too much to drink.
Mm-hmm. Or maybe that's a suggestion. Drink more.
Ooh, are we getting suggested?
See, I'm not in the friend zone. I'm not in the friend zone. I'm full of suggestions.
Not in the friend zone.
I already took my bottle to the kitchen, man.
Oh, she told you that's enough. That's a subliminal message. That's enough, Jeffrey.
Oh no, it wasn't that. I just, I thought we were winding down, so I was like, all right, let me,
Let's go. Yeah. Listen, I get the gift of gab sometimes, and Marcus is like, Brian is going to talk forever. I do that. I do that a lot. I do it. I'm sorry. I'm doing it. So let's go ahead and wrap it up. It's 2 hours and 15 minutes into the stream. I appreciate you guys. So let's start with Jeff. Parting words.
Okay, my parting words. Do not be afraid to invest in your mental well-being, as it relates to, whether it's a relationship with other people or a relationship with self. Learn your love language and the love language as well as the apologies languages, because the more you fight for the understanding, I think the better we heal as a people. Not even just, husband and wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, but just as a people as well. Malcolm Gladwell wrote a good book, Talking to Strangers. And just, this is how we heal. We heal together as a collective. So that's my parting words, man. Have fun, make life an adventure.
I appreciate that, man. It's really great to hear from you, man. Good to have you back on the panel. Hopefully you will come and visit us again as we continue to, change the direction of Drinks and Discussions to go into more topics that lean more to more cooperation and conversation rather than divisiveness and politics and all those types of things. So we really appreciate you sticking on and hanging out with us. The First Lady of Drinks and Discussions, Megan, parting words, madame.
Don't be a dick. Super easy. Treat people how you want them to treat you, and keep in mind how you would assume they would, like, you don't want to treat a child how you want to be treated. So like you want to treat them differently. What?
The platinum rule. The golden rule is what?
Platinum rule. The golden rule is treat others as you undo something like that. And then the platinum rule is treat others the way that you think they would want to be treated. Something like that.
Yes, yeah, something like that.
Not verbatim.
Right.
But it's the gist.
Got it.
AKA, don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick. All right, so we are getting to Mr. Marcus, and before he goes into his...
Where's your hat and your Timbs, brother?
Yeah, I was like, Mr. Marcus. Oh, okay. I see what you did there. I see what you did there. Right. Yeah, you got you. Before we go into his parting words, let's have it. As Megan is putting the spotlight on Marcus, which on her, but it's supposed to be on you. That's a weird spotlight. Marcus is going to bless us with his dad jokes. Let's have it, sir. You're on mute. Something's going on with your. Yes.
Oh, can you hear me now?
We can hear you now.
Yes.
Okay. What do you call a fish who wears a bow tie?
I really want to try to give an educated guess.
I guess I want to. It's got to be so easy.
Wait.
It's so easy. Don't look it up if you're in the chat. Don't look it up.
What do you call a fish that wears a bow tie?
Yeah.
Oh, I know this is so stupid. I know it's gonna be so stupid. We're gonna guess it.
It probably is, but I have nothing, and I'm so disappointed in myself.
Look it up. I see you Googling. Just kidding.
No, cheater.
Are you ready?
Yeah, go ahead. Let's have it.
Sophisticated.
I would not have gotten that one. I was so far
never.
Away.
It wasn't even.
I got a thumbs up from Megan.
It wasn't even. Look at Megan's face. Like, oh.
and an eye roll.
Mix them up.
Oh. All right. I just one more for you. I got one more for you tonight. Oh wait, say that again, Jeff.
No, I'm like I feel so primitive. She got emojis and emoticons. I'm like, I can change my background.
All right, last one. How many tickles does it take to make an octopus laugh?
It's gonna be like no tickles because of something, or it's gonna be testicles, tentacles.
Don't groan at me, Liz. I know you like that.
Tickles does it take to make an octopus laugh?
They're so easy, and I know they're not gonna be easy.
I sophisticated was.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Tentacles.
Gah! Boom. Yeah, I told you it was about tentacles. I told you it was gonna be.
Tip of the hat to you, sir.
Yes. I'm here all weekend. So.
Tip your wishes on the way out. Wow.
That was awesome.
Right, Liz had to
say
octopus don't laugh. Oh yeah, she said stop groaning.
All right, well, you guys are doing that. I'm getting Dum Dum. I don't even know who Dum Dum is. I don't know why people follow us from other channels. It makes zero sense to me.
You could probably blame me.
Yeah, I don't blame people. I don't blame people. I just set the tone on what we try to do here. So Marcus,
I'm
before I
appreciative.
get into that, I'm gonna go into Marcus's. You have any? You got another one, or that was it?
Yeah, no. That's it. That's it. Yeah, I'm
I'm gonna give
done.
you a B plus on those jokes. A B plus.
I'm moving up the scale.
Fisticated. Um, parting words, sir.
No, that's all I got. Just just some good laughs. I'm gonna
Just
end
good
on
laughs.
that.
Good laughs.
Such a great conversation and no parting word.
5 spot on your waistband for that last one. She's like, take your shirt off. Let me go and put this money in your waistband, playa.
This part is
Yeah.
too
Okay.
sophisticated.
Yes, Liz says,
I'm wearing the stars today, Liz.
let Marcus show up next week with a bow tie. Let me find out he gonna wear a bow tie next week because he's sophisticated. So let me just say this. Listen, everybody here is free to do whatever they want to do on their free time. I am happy to have Megan back on this channel because she brings perspective that the men on this channel cannot give. Whatever Megan does on her free time is up to Megan, but Megan doesn't bring that shit over here. I am not a part of that. Marcus and anybody else on here are not a part of anything going on in the YouTube universe. I don't even know what channels are now even available for you to watch. I don't subscribe to those channels. We're not part of those channels. The only time I hear about something is if somebody tells me that somebody's watching our channel and has a problem. But at the end of the day, I wish them luck. Grow their channel. Do great things with your channel. Do all the things that YouTube is meant to be with your channel. But at the end of the day, stop crying about other people. Don't do anything and say that I'm saying something or being something that I'm not. I don't care. We are Drinks and Discussions, and we provide people an avenue where they can come over here and talk unencumbered, where you can share your perspective. No one's going to chastise you for being on another channel, liking another channel, having a certain belief, or anything else. And if that offends you, if you watch this channel, thank you for watching. I appreciate you coming over here and viewing us. That makes me feel good that you're interested enough to come over here. Thank you for watching us right now. Appreciate it. Appreciate that, bro. But at the end of the day, I'm not part of that shit. We don't want to be a part of it. I'm not going to defend anybody. I'm not going to even try to even tell anybody not to say anything about any of the other people's channels because they can do whatever they want to do on their own personal time. But here in Drinks and Discussions, we're about positivity. And as Marcus said, at the end of the night, we want to leave you guys with something that you can go and smile about at the end of the day. We want you to feel lighter in the load at the end of the day. We want you to feel happy. You came to Drinks and Discussions. Everybody's drinking. Well, everybody except for Marcus is drinking. So you're supposed to be in the end of the night. You're supposed to be feeling a little bit more lighter in the pants, lighter in the mind, and ready to just go home and say, you know what, lay down and whatever. And the load is taken off or whatever else was ailing you with all that other crap that you probably had to deal with your secular job or whatever else you had to deal with in life. Again, appreciate Jeff. I'm going to, when he comes back to the States, I ain't coming to Mexico. Too many people hanging. Man. Too many people hanging. We get ready. I'm just kidding. There's a lot of they're killing Americans over there. I ain't trying to get them over there with you, man. But I will tell you this. My family's getting ready to do some. We are embarking on some travel plans throughout the U.S. Not giving it up because it's not really a surprise. But we haven't really formalized plans just yet. But my wife is from California, so we're gonna go to California. Megan, you're close by California. We may drive through there, come by and say hello. That would be awesome. Then
No.
also,
Do Drinks and Discussions on the road.
we're gonna
Border
do.
of
Listen, yeah.
in Oregon.
I'm saying, say that again. Say that again, Megan.
Portland's on the border of Washington and Oregon, not Cali.
Well, so my wife lived in Oregon before she moved to California. And so we might just kind of do that whole thing, but we also have to go East Coast before we do some of that traveling and stuff or whatever. So Drinks and Discussions are going to be traveling, if you will, in the upcoming year. I'm not going to say it's going to be the end of this year. It's going to be in 2023, after the winter months. Because well, you might see us doing some things for the holidays, because we're going to probably go up to Baltimore for her brother for Christmas. But you'll see us doing a lot more traveling. And I want to see people, if you know Drinks and Discussions, and if you like Drinks and Discussions, and you want to be friends with Drinks and Discussions, if I'm in your town, I travel a lot for work too, coming up in the next year. If I'm in your city, your town, let me know. Hey, I'll come up there and give you a shout out with you. Come on, man. It's all about love for me in Drinks and Discussions. I always talk too much at the end. Sorry for keeping you guys here longer than you need it to be. But at the end of the day, I appreciate each and every one of you guys always sharing your Tuesday with us. And I appreciate you guys. And hopefully you'll see us next Tuesday, same time, more host, more topics, more drinks. And until next time, we are Drinks and Discussions. Megan, Marcus, Jeff, Kevin. We'll see you